Hey boys and girls, this is lesson 7.1, multiplication of mixed numbers, part 1. Part 2 is lesson 7.2, and we'll get to that soon. So the I can statement for lesson 7.1 is I can use area models and partial products to multiply mixed numbers. Pause this to get this recorded in your notebook if you need to, and then come on back. So the math message is, how does this area model represent the problem 28 times 6? Take a look at that there, 28 times 6. And then the second question I have for you is, how can we use this understanding to help us solve 4 2/3 times 7? Pause the video, see what you can figure out there, get this in your notebook, come on back. Okay, so hopefully the first thing you did after getting it written down was you did an estimate. So 28 times 6 I estimated as 30 times 6, and I got 180. So I have that in my mind. Then I know when I see any kind of picture like this, I'm going to be running my fingers together like we would on the multiplication chart. So I'm going to say 20 times 6 and put it in that box is 120, and 8 times 6, I would run my fingers together here, and that equals 48. So then I'm going to add these two partial products. That's what that is, right? Partial products, just written in an area model, together to get 168. Is 168 close enough to 180? It is. Yep, I knew 180 was a little high because I rounded up, right? Okay, so I'm good there. So then thinking about how could I use that to help me with a more difficult problem, 4 2/3 times 7. Hopefully you could see that you could draw one for yourself, just like it, and you're going to break up that 4 2/3 into friendlier parts and then multiply them by 7. Again, if I run my fingers together, 4 times 7 is 28. 2/3 times 7, I know I can do 2/3 times 7 over 1, and then I'm multiplying just across, right? 2 times 7, 14, 3 times 1 is 3, which gives me 4 2/3. So to put those partials together, 28 plus 4 2/3 equals 32 2/3, right? So if I had to do a summative number model, 4 2/3 times 7 equals 32 2/3. And I will say, so I did an estimate ahead of time. I estimated my 4 2/3 to be 5, because 2/3 is closer to a whole than not, right? 5 times 7 is 35. So 32 2/3, that's pretty close to 35. I think I've done everything correctly. So now let's try this area model and partial products for a problem that's a little bit harder. 1 3/4 times 2 1/3. So first, let's see if you can get this problem set up correctly with an area model. Give that a try in your notebook, and then come back. All right, I hope you were able to break those mixed numbers down into the whole number and the fraction. So you can see I have my 1 3/4 and my 2 1/3. And hopefully you're going to see how I can run these together to know what's going to need to be multiplied in each box, right? All right, give it a try. Try and solve it. Come back when you're done. All right, so my estimate for this, 1 3/4, I'm estimating to 2. 2 1/3, I'm estimating to 2. So I'm guessing I'm going to be at 4. And when we think about, would I have expected my answer to be higher than 1 3/4? Well, yeah, I'm multiplying it by 2, right? Would I expect my answer to be higher than 2? Yeah, I'm multiplying by more than 1. So this estimate should make sense to you as far as that goes as well. All right, so if I run my fingers together, in this box, I'll be doing 1 times 2, which is 2. Then here, I would be doing 3/4 times 2, which is 6/4, because I can do 3/4 times 2 over 1. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. 6/4. 1 times 1/3 is 1/3. That's that identity rule we've learned. And 3/4 times 1/3, I'm going to multiply across. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, which gives me 3/12. a little more complicated now in order to put all my partials together because I have all these fractions with different denominators, right? And I know I can't add fractions with unlike denominators, so I'm going to have to do some converting and make common denominators. So since I have 3, 4, and 12, I know that I can easily change thirds into twelfths, and I can change fourths into twelfths, and I'll just keep my twelfths. So that's what you see here, right? So 1/3 equals 4 twelfths because 3 times 4 is 12, and whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Ding, ding, or whatever noise you guys were making for that. For 6/4, 4 times 3 is 12. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do the top. So 6 times 3, 18. And I can keep my 3 twelfths, right? So I'm going to add all these fraction parts together. 18 twelfths plus 4 twelfths plus 3 twelfths gives me 25 twelfths. And when I convert that into a mixed number, 12 goes into 25 twice, 2 whole times, and I have 1/12 left over. So then I go back and add that to my whole number 2, and I would have 2 plus 2 1/12 equals 4 1/12. So if I was going to do a summative number model, it would be 1 3/4 times 2 1/3 equals 4 1/12. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. And our estimate for this one we said was 4. So 4 1/12, yes, very close to our estimate this time, right? All right, so you're going to get to practice now. In your math journal, you on page 233, you have a few different problems to try. The area model box is drawn there for you. You'll have to add the lines to break it into pieces, just like we just did. So you're going to do this page, at least a couple of those problems. You decide how many you need to use to practice to really get it, but be sure you at least do problem number 3, because that is the hardest of them. If you find 1 and 2 to be very easy, I'm okay if you skip one of those, but make sure you do 3. We want to make sure you can multiply mixed number times mixed number. And then page 234 has you writing number models with unknowns and breaking it out of a story problem, which is also good practice. So see what you can do with this page. And then I'm going to show you the answers on this video. So you will want to pause this to go do those problems and then come back and take a look at the answers. All right, good luck. Have fun. And here are the answers for page 233. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. But if not, don't panic. We'll go over it on Monday when we're together again. Before I have you do any homework, I'll make sure you get the concept. Okay? And then here's the answer to page 234. All right, have a good one.